This is one of China's most important cities. Why? Because even if you're not Chinese, you only need to look at a map to understand Wuhan's significance. If you measure the distances using a mapping app, you'll find that Wuhan is roughly equidistant from Chengdu, Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou. It is truly the heart of China in every sense. Wuhan is also a crucial industrial hub, home to pillar industries such as automobiles, steel, chemicals, and optoelectronic information. Of course, most importantly, it has a population of nearly 14 million and the second highest number of top-tier universities in China, making it a place blessed with favorable conditions in every aspect: timing, location, and human resources. But I must admit, it's a bit embarrassing that I'd never visited such an important city before. After spending a week thoroughly exploring Wuhan, I can say that it's truly impressive, but it could be even better. This is Jianghan Road, almost like a second Huaihai Road of Shanghai. Though it was also a foreign concession back in the 1920s, the atmosphere here feels entirely different from Shanghai's. If Huaihai Road bestowed upon Shanghai a modern charm from a century ago, Jianghan Road has preserved the raw, everyday vibe of that era right up to the present. I can't even tell whether Wuhan locals simply don't care or if it's entirely intentional. They haven't bothered to repackage these old streets into some trendy tourist attraction. Instead, they've let the most authentic Wuhan life carry on here. If not for the parked cars and a few modern touches, you might think these streets haven't changed at all in over 100 years. Here, you'll see all kinds of vehicles and pedestrians crisscrossing haphazardly through the streets, along with open-air stalls and night markets sprawling unrestrained across the city. This raw, unfiltered way of life is essentially the soul of Wuhan. It permeates every corner of the city. Even as Wuhan has grown into central China's largest metropolis, with skyscrapers dominating its skyline and modern elements filling its streets, the fundamental lifestyle here remains authentically unchanged. In Optics Valley U City, where urban density rivals Guiyang's Huabuan district, you'll experience that same organic, unregulated vitality. Around Optics Valley Grand Plaza, the roadside food stalls and informal parking arrangements showcase the same natural urban rhythm. Wuhan's unpolished character, never compromising its authenticity to please outsiders, requires visitors to embrace the city on its own terms. Those expecting conventional urban refinement may find Wuhan defying their expectations, but therein lies its genuine charm. Look, this is Wuhan Railway Station. After visiting so many stations across the country, I can confidently say Wuhan Station is one of the rare places that has preserved the same chaos from 20 years ago to this day. I was stuck in a disorderly traffic jam for nearly 20 minutes just trying to enter the parking lot. And inside, the chaos continued. I made my way to the Yangtze River, where the broad water stretched lazily before me as cargo ships drifted slowly by. Time itself seemed to slow down here. Spotting a few vessels unloading their goods, I realized this was a far cry from the bustling docks of old. Just as I began to think that the vibrant dock culture might have faded along with the decline of the waterfront, I was pleasantly surprised to discover that Hanjiang Street, a historic district dating back 500 years, still preserves Wuhan in its most authentic form. The core area of what was once known as the world's foremost marketplace spans just 1.67 square kilometers, yet houses tens of thousands of merchants, making it the largest wholesale distribution center in central China. In this era when online shopping has become the norm, the brick-and-mortar shops of Hanjiang Street appear untouched by time. The bustling storefronts, workers hurriedly transporting goods through crowded alleys, and food vendors loudly hawking their wares instantly transported me back 20 years. To me, Hanjiang Street stands as living proof that the dock culture still thrives. It's also the best place to experience the rhythm of Wuhan life. While museums may only show you cultures that have faded from the present, Hanjiang Street itself is the finest museum for understanding the real Wuhan. Venture into Changdi Street behind Hanjiang Street, and you'll find all those newly built, ancient towns, and old streets, pale in comparison. This place doesn't just feel nostalgic, it's like teleporting directly from the 21st century back to the 20th. And those cured meats hanging right in the middle of the roadway? Now that's what I call the most authentically Wuhan scenery you'll ever find. This time, I had the privilege of witnessing one of Wuhan's most authentic scenes. While getting my car washed at a small mom-and-pop shop after agreeing on a price, or so I thought, I parked my car and sat down to relax. Suddenly, the husband started yelling at his wife so loudly that everyone within 50 meters stopped what they were doing to stare. The outburst nearly made me drop my phone. The reason? The wife had quoted me a price that the husband thought was too low. I suspect his furious reaction stemmed from feeling disrespected in their pricing authority. Their heated argument in thick local dialect was completely lost on me. What's fascinating is how Wuhan people can hurl the most violent insults while somehow keeping cool heads. True enough, the couple quickly returned to normal after finishing my car wash. At its core, this was just a trivial matter over 10 yuan. What really upset the husband wasn't the money, but the perceived slight to his dignity. Yet no matter how harsh the words flew between them, physical violence remained off limits after all. She's both family and business partner. This delicate balance between conflict and harmony, all playing out in one loud but ultimately harmless marital spat. Now that's what I call interesting. Wuhan locals not only speak loudly themselves, but also demonstrate unprecedented tolerance toward noise. Under the Yangtze River Bridge, the blaring horns likely reach the auditory threshold of human ears, yet Wuhan residents seem completely unfazed. What you'll discover is this: Wuhan people's tolerance for public environment disturbances far exceeds that of other major cities. This very tolerance is the fundamental reason why Wuhan has preserved its authentic, unfiltered urban character. For Wuhan locals, the most important morning ritual is guizhou breakfast. Anyone who's visited Wuhan knows how seriously its residents take their morning meal. Some even consider it the day's most crucial affair. Though I've discussed breakfast importance before, Wuhan people have a unique take on it. Initially, I couldn't pinpoint why. Similar breakfast stalls exist in Chengdu, Chongqing, Guiyang and Changsha, yet only Wuhan has this distinctive guizhou culture. The answer struck me when I noticed every small eatery used disposable tableware. In Wuhan, breakfast isn't about leisurely enjoyment that's a luxury few can afford. The city's pulse beats in guizhou, a quick, efficient morning meal woven into daily life. Much like Wuhan's dialect, a blend of Sichuanese and Hunanese, its streets offer culinary crossroads. Hot dry noodles, while iconic, traced to northern cuisine. Rice noodles and fried potatoes mirror Guizhou styles. Countless local dishes show neighboring provinces' influence, a tasty testament to Wuhan's role as China's 9-province thoroughfare. Many people know Wuhan is called the thoroughfare of 9 provinces, but this title means far more than just a geographical designation. It signifies not only the city's unparalleled transportation connectivity, but also its remarkable fusion of diverse cultures. While Wuhan may lack the conventional historical landmarks found in most Chinese cities, it offers something truly unique, an eclectic urban character you won't find anywhere else. During my visit to Yellow Crane Tower, it happened to be under renovation. Not only was access prohibited, but my drone signals got jammed whenever I tried to fly nearby. While the tower is practically Wuhan's landmark, I'd argue it doesn't truly capture the city's essence. Instead, I believe places like the eclectic Good Deed Temple better represent Wuhan's character. Before coming to Wuhan, I had no idea such an architectural marvel existed here. Otherwise, I might have visited much sooner. At first glance, this temple delivers bewildering awe. Its harmonious fusion of 3 religious traditions creates something I doubt exists elsewhere in the world. Even Istanbul or Jerusalem couldn't prepare you for this degree of cultural synthesis. If the ancient goodness temple represents Wuhan's historical cultural fusion, then when you see the Spanish-style street, you won't feel any sense of incongruity at all. Although this street appears to be purely European architecture at first glance, the most magical thing is how such ambience completely fails to overshadow Wuhan's distinctive character. Here, you won't perceive any solemn or sacred atmosphere, whereas the true charm of authentic European architecture often lies in the spiritual essence these buildings embody. This church-like structure particularly gives me an instinctive sense of discomfort. In some aspects, Huawei has indeed achieved remarkable advancements. At this moment, I understand why a company like Apple, with its ethos, would choose to open stores in train stations rather than inside Notre Dame de Paris. Don't ask me why I dislike Huawei so much, let this building speak for itself. In Zhongshan Park, you'll find a fascinating blend of Chinese-style gardens, Republic-era architecture, modern amusement rides, and even rare traditional tea houses, a mix so characteristically Wuhan that it feels perfectly natural. Tanhulan is one of the few places in Wuhan that lacks the city's characteristic raw urban vibe, likely because the government has developed it as an internet-famous tourist spot. This transformation has made its atmosphere strikingly similar to creative districts found nationwide. While strolling through, visitors can easily become enchanted by the trendy ambience, overlooking the genuine historical significance of its architecture. The Yangtze River Bridge exemplifies this same fusion, combining Soviet and Chinese architectural styles. Though far from China's largest or most impressive bridge by today's standards, its solemn, monumental design captures a unique historical era, making it particularly valuable in my eyes. What truly makes Wuhan special is its diverse collection of distinctive architecture, the city's most precious asset. When talking about Wuhan, one simply can't avoid mentioning Optics Valley. Just hearing the name reveals the city's high expectations for this area. And indeed, everywhere in Optics Valley, you can feel that characteristic Wuhan impatience ingrained in its character. Even from aerial views alone, Optics Valley's current state raises concerns: vast construction sites and real estate projects with uncertain completion dates everywhere. This feeling becomes even more pronounced when riding on what locals humorously call Optics Valley's daddy, the light rail. With sparse passengers inside and dismal views outside, the scene is rather lamentable. While I understand China's major cities all develop new districts for urban expansion and employment, after visiting so many cities, I've found Wuhan's Optics Valley stands out for its overly ambitious scale and infrastructure that far outpaces actual needs. The current industries here clearly haven't met initial expectations. The newly launched suspended monorail not only fails to address residents' transportation needs, but appears destined to become another financial burden like Optics Valley's other daddies. The 30 yuan ticket price says it all. Perhaps Wuhan hopes to recreate Chongqing's Liziba metro station's viral success. But Chongqing's magic isn't so easily replicated. But that's a topic for our next episode. Finally, we come to Wuhan's East Lake. Though far less famous than Hangzhou's West Lake, East Lake clearly holds special significance for locals. A Wuhan taxi driver proudly told me, "West Lake is so small, East Lake is 5 times bigger." Of course, size alone doesn't determine quality. But East Lake's importance to Wuhan is undeniable, though I believe its potential remains underrealized. Unlike West Lake with its numerous attractions, East Lake functions more like a vast urban forest park, offering Wuhan residents a rare chance to slow down and truly unwind. With its lakes, woodlands, bridges and meadows, it's a perfect retreat. Yet outside weekends, I noticed surprisingly few visitors enjoying this tranquility, leaving much of the park feeling quietly deserted. It's time to summarize again. Wuhan may have been one of the most important cities in China in the past, whether in terms of geographical location, economic status, or resources. You can feel this glorious confirmation in various places in Wuhan. But now that there are more and more important cities in China, Wuhan has become less dazzling than in the past. Shanghai's internationalization, Hangzhou's business environment, Suzhou's private economy, Chengdu's leisure temperament, Chongqing's internet celebrity effect, Shenzhen's super manufacturing industry. If it weren't for Wuhan's geographical location, I might have missed this city completely. But I have to say that Wuhan still has a very good super city foundation. It still has the best geographical location in the country, still has historical streets as well preserved as Shanghai, still has a good business foundation, still has a unique natural environment, has a market atmosphere and fireworks that many cities envy, and has the best talent pool in the country. However, you will also find that Wuhan still has gaps in many things: too casual urban management, too radical urban construction, and absent-minded urban image management. In addition, Wuhan has not formed certain advantages in some emerging industries and private economy. So, of course, Wuhan is good now, but it is not enough. It can be better, and I also hope that Wuhan will be better. After all, this is the center of the Yangtze River and the center of China.